Imagine building a career that spans 5 decades, surviving Hollywood's brutal cycle of reinvention after reinvention, only to have a single beach photo bring an entirely new generation of attention your way. That's the strange, almost unpredictable nature of fame, and it's exactly what happened to Adrienne Barbeau. At first glance, this looks like just another headline about a celebrity beach appearance. But here's where the story gets interesting. The real story isn't about a bikini at all. It's about a woman who spent her entire career refusing to disappear, and what happens when the internet suddenly rediscovers someone it had quietly underestimated. Adrienne Barbeau's career didn't start with fame handed to her. It started with Broadway, with discipline, with years of theater work long before Hollywood ever noticed her. She earned a Tony nomination for Grease on stage before most people even knew her name. Then came television, then horror films that would go on to define an entire genre. She became a genuine icon in the world of cult classics, starring in films that horror fans still celebrate today. This wasn't a woman chasing quick fame. This was a woman who built a career brick by brick, decade by decade. What most people don't realize is how rare that kind of longevity actually is in Hollywood. Careers fade. Faces get replaced. Yet Barbeau kept working, kept adapting, kept finding new audiences across generations, from television to film to voice acting to writing. She authored novels later in life, proving her creativity never had an expiration date. So when a photo of her at the beach started circulating and catching attention online, the reaction wasn't just about the image itself. It was about surprise. Surprise that someone from an earlier era of Hollywood still commanded that kind of attention. Surprise that confidence like that doesn't fade with time, it evolves. The surprising part is how divided the reactions became. Some fans celebrated her, calling her fearless, timeless, a reminder that beauty and confidence aren't reserved for the young. Others reacted with the usual tired commentary, questioning why an older woman would want that kind of attention at all. And that reaction, more than the photo itself, reveals something uncomfortable about how society still views aging, especially for women who refuse to fade quietly into the background. But here's where it gets deeper. Barbeau has spent years openly challenging the idea that women lose relevance as they age. In an industry obsessed with youth, she represents something different, proof that identity, confidence, and self-expression don't come with a shelf life. That message resonates far beyond Hollywood. It touches everyday people who feel pressured by the same unfair standards, the same quiet expectation to shrink themselves as they get older. What's often lost in these viral moments is the person behind them. Barbeau isn't chasing relevance. She's simply living life on her own terms, the same way she always has, whether that meant taking creative risks on stage, in horror films that redefined a genre, or later in life, refusing to apologize for who she is. There's something quietly powerful about a woman who spent 50 years in an industry built on discarding people once they hit a certain age, and who still shows up unapologetically herself. Maybe that makes people uncomfortable. Maybe that discomfort says more about our culture's expectations than about her. At its core, this isn't really a story about a beach photo. It's a story about ownership, about a woman who built her identity long before social media existed, and who refuses to let a single viral moment define decades of hard-earned work. So the next time a headline reduces someone's life to one photo, it's worth remembering the years, the risks, and the resilience that came before it. Because behind every viral moment is a person who spent a lifetime becoming exactly who they wanted to be, long before the world decided to pay attention.